currently trying to quiet her down. As long as I'm moving, she's fine. But apparently it was taking way too long to go for our morning walk this morning because I was editing the first vlog. And I'm kind of okay with the first vlog. It's kind of a little interesting, but I mean, as I say, if you're completely happy with your first draft, then you probably waited too long to start it. So we're going with that. Definitely going with that mentality. That and a few different things that I am going to do differently for this one. One being, right now I'm filming on my phone, not on our camera. We do have a very nice camera, it works really well, but the lens makes noise every single time it zooms in and out. So it's beginning to drive me a little bit bonkers. That and keeping clips a little shorter so that they're a little bit easier to edit. And trying to stabilize the camera a little bit more because it was dancing quite a bit in that first one. So, little improvements. Little improvements add up. Okay, she's falling asleep, so I think we're gonna actually try and go on our walk before it starts raining again. Evidently that was the problem. The morning walk hadn't started. I'm not allowed to edit videos before the morning walk. It is disgustingly muggy out here. Like, really gross. Muggy. To grab something from the shop and then breakfast for me, food for her. Basically second breakfast for her. And then I've got an appointment this afternoon, so I'm gonna try and get some quiet stuff done in the shop this morning. Got some mountains cut out yesterday, so I'll get those glued up. And then hopefully this afternoon I will feel up to it after my appointment to cut up, or biscuit, all the hexagons and get them glued up. This is what's waiting for me after breakfast. And this, hopefully will get glued up this afternoon. But first, food. Okay, I've had food, she's had food. Time to get some work done. Also starting to rain. I'm gonna get wet. All these little fuzzies have to be taken off. Is that a funny looking elephant? I like to take the burrs off of these. You can kind of see it there. It's got little like hairs. There you go. Would you like something? No, you just alright. You're just having fun wiggling. All right. Anyways, as I was saying, I like to take the burrs off of these, partly because it's a lot easier to glue up. So you can see, I'll do this this something I can actually, there we go. Okay, so this, you see, has no burrs on it. So when I put them together, I don't get these little hairs that I'm fighting with. Especially when I put it together, say, like that. You got little burrs in there. It just makes it really difficult to get in there to get that cleaned up. But if I just kind of knock them off beforehand, I don't have to deal with that. It's a lot easier to glue up. I don't technically need to do it on the outside edge here because most of these are just going to butt up or butt up this way. But again, it's not that hard to just do both sides while I'm doing this. It keeps it clean. That's a very entertaining elephant, isn't it? I love the elephant. I've made quite a few of these mountains at this point, as well as the hexagons. So I've discovered different ways of making it a little bit easier on myself. One of which is to glue up the body and then to glue up the little mini mountain in the middle separately. It makes for two different drying times because I have to glue these and those, and then once they're all dry, then glue them together. But it helps considerably because once I put this into that larger piece, it's hard to get in here to sand this nice and smooth with the palm sander. Same thing on the larger piece. It's hard to get the tops of the mountains. So this allows me to glue it up, sand it, sand that, glue this to that, then I don't have to do any hand sanding. So I am not hand sanding this. That's not happening. I also have the dimensions and the layout of all the cuts. A little piece of paper on my wall, so anytime I'm trying to remember how to put this thing together, it's right there. And we just pin nail them together. One thing I have learned about working around her is doing things sometimes a little bit out of order of what I'm used to. So long as it doesn't kind of make more work for me later, it's fine. Like this. These are all cut up. They're ready. Next step is normally to biscuit joint them and then to sand all the burrs off and then glue them up. But I have enough time to get all the burrs sanded off of this. It's quiet enough for hers to still be in the shop, and that way tonight I just have to biscuit joint them and glue them up together. Cuts down on some of the work I have to do later today. Means that she can still wiggle in the workshop, and I at least get something done. So let's get this set up. Alright, well, she's asleep, so take her inside for a nap. All of those are done. They're all buffed. So basically just biscuit joining them and sanding them, or biscuit joining and gluing them up. The mountains will need a light sand and glue up. If I can get that done, then I should be able to get all of these out the door by Monday, And if I can get that, then I can start turning all of these extra boards as well as the ones. There's a whole bunch more in the back room that Dan sanded. I start turning them into components, start loading up the back storeroom, get me a little bit ahead before more orders come in. Makes it a little bit easier to keep moving, because then if they're already cut, I can pull them off and glue them at any point, and that's a quiet thing I can do with her. So it's easier to batch out the noisy stuff as much as possible. So then I can do the quiet stuff in between. But right now, she needs a more comfortable place to sleep. I need food before I head out. And I'll see you later. Alright. Appointment in town done. I took a much needed nap. Jean-Marie is with Dan upstairs wiggling. So let's knock these things out. All my noisy stuff done now. All right. Took a little bit, but all the 12-inch shelves are glued there. Got 16s glued here. I have, according to my list, I've got two of the 16s need to have double mid shelves put in. So I'm gonna do that next, and then those will get, I'll move on to the mountains. Basically, what are we doing? These parts here, I sand, so it covers up, sands off all the saw marks, makes it nice and smooth. Same thing, the little mini guys in the middle, and then once that's sanded, once this sanded, then I just glue them together. But I am running low on glue. Apparently I should have got some when I went to go get the lumber. I didn't, but I think I have just enough to glue up the two that need mid shelves and all the little mini mountains on there. So I'm gonna get to cutting those. I never seem to remember to mark down where these are supposed to go. The middle ones aren't hard because they just literally go right through there. You mark them, you're good. But these, I try to evenly space. So, easiest way I've found is literally just to do this. That's way too much. And a half. And a half, and a half, 3.5. Oh, okay, that kind of works actually. All right. Yeah, right through there actually. Yeah, that works. So just to show you, this is basically what I'm sanding, is this part here. And then on these ones I sand a little bit further down so that when I take this and put it here, this part has already been sanded. And the same thing on this side, this part has already been sanded. It makes it easier because after I put it through the drum sander to make sure the sides are flat, I sand all these surfaces. But again, once this is glued in, I can't get into these corners. Can't get into these spaces here very easily. This doesn't fit, and I'm not about to sand this by hand. It takes way too long, and I don't like hand sanding. So, gluing up in 2 spots, or 2 phases, means that I can avoid that. Okay, last step before I call it quits for the day. I'm gluing these things on. So basically, I just take the hose and blow off any dust that's here, put glue on that, and just sit them in place. Well, that's it. Mountains are glued, hexagons are glued. That one, part of a different order. It's not part of that order, but it needs a little bit of help, so I'll fix that tomorrow. But I'm done for the day. It is sufficiently dark outside. It's also sufficiently dark out here. Hey, there's a house over there somewhere. But that is a wrap for me. Not bad, considering I had a few hours of stuff I had to do in town today. But I am done. I'll be back at this tomorrow. I'm gonna go inside, hang out with Dan, and find a very cute little baby to cuddle. Good night. Hi, cutie.